Good morning. Welcome to Grand Central. It's very early, so it's very empty here. I'm about to get on the first New Haven Line Express of the day to go get a new Canaan train to go get a microtransit to the Danbury Branch. Welcome to New York's amazing secret branch line. Here's some history, and I'll see you again on the train. The history of the Danbury Branch begins in 1835, when the Fairfield County Railroad was chartered to build south from Danbury through rural Fairfield County to ports along the Long Island Sound. A route was chosen along the valley of the Norwalk River, but construction never started due to funding issues. A proposed extension northward would have partially mitigated this, but the Housatonic Railroad beat them to the punch, connecting areas north of Danbury to Bridgeport, also on the Long Island Sound, starting in 1840. This route, however, bypassed Danbury, and in 1850, construction began on the originally surveyed route from Danbury south to Norwalk. Originally, the line was meant to connect to ferries at Belden Point, but this was revised to connect to the New York, New Haven, and Hartford Railroad at South Norwalk Station. Construction was fairly easy, mostly following the grade of the Norwalk River Valley, and the Danbury and Norwalk Railroad opened in February of 1852. Despite some initial troubles with flooding, the railroad thrived, having a monopoly over the railroad market in this area. In the late 1860s, competition with horse railways led to an unusual track-sharing agreement in Norwalk, where horse-drawn streetcars and steam trains ran on the same tracks. In 1869, a branch from the hamlet of Branchville to the large but isolated town of Ridgefield started, which, despite construction troubles, opened the next summer. 2 years later, in the spring of 1872, a branch was opened from Bethel to Hollyville, which connected the Danbury and Norwalk Railroad to the future Boston, Hartford, and Erie Railroad, as well as the Shephog Valley Railroad, an incredibly cool, now abandoned railroad that is sadly impossible to access by transit. Damn it, Northwest Connecticut Transit District, be better! The mid-1880s saw a couple of events that massively benefited the Danbury and Norwalk. First, in 1886, they were leased by the Housatonic Railroad, combining the two lines and allowing the Housatonic to have a shorter route to New York City. Secondly, in 1891, when the New York and New England Railroad fell out with the New York, New Haven, and Hartford, they used the Danbury and Norwalk to connect to New York by way of ferries to Oyster Bay on Long Island. Only 1 year later, in 1892, the Danbury and Norwalk was leased by the New York, New Haven, and Hartford Railroad as part of a larger lease of the whole Housatonic Railroad system. While this did end most direct Boston to New York service along the line, service thrived throughout the 20th century, with long-distance trains to the Berkshires being its prime service. The line was electrified in 1925 and thrived until the summer of 1955, when Connecticut was hit by two massive hurricanes, causing the line to be shut down for months. While it did reopen, this marked the beginning of the end for the line. Electrification was removed in 1961, the last long-distance train ran in 1971, and by the late 70s, service was looking very dire. The state of Connecticut had leased the line in 1971, and in 1983, Metro-North took over service. Since then, the Merritt 7 station opened in 1994, and the line was extensively modernized from 2009 until 2013. So now, let's go explore the line! Hello, I don't think I've ever actually filmed the border crossing and leaving New York behind and the wonderful land of Ned. Now, there is a southbound train, but so we make this turn out of Port Chester Station, and we cross this street, and then we cross a river, and that is the border. I don't see the river. It's very, very, very small river. Those look still like New York style street signs. I don't know why I'm getting so excited over state border. We have made the full turn. Oh, that's it down there. Alright. So with this, we are now crossing into Connecticut. I think this is the first time I've actually filmed the real border. But yeah. Hi, Ned. Welcome to Connecticut. Hello, Ned, and hello, Great Seal. Connecticut. I love how there are like multiple different layers of the Connecticut lore. If you're new to the channel, this probably makes no sense. So Ned Lamont is the governor of Connecticut, and he made the bus free, so he's like a meme in the transit nerd space. But he then stopped doing that. But this is on Ned Land. And then the Great Seal, I explained before, but the Connecticut State Seal and State Flag both have grapes on them. Don't know why. Can't find any reason why online, but I find that really funny. And hence, welcome to Ned Land and welcome to Grape Land. Alrighty, I'll see you in Stanford. So you may be wondering, wait, he's going to the Danbury Branch. Why is he getting off in Stamford? Well, I got off there to get on a new Cannondale Branch train up to Talmadge Hill. I walked a mile from Talmadge Hill to the border of Norwalk, and then I got the Wheels to You Norwalk microtransit from right on the border of Norwalk to the Merritt 7 train station. And this is the first time I've ever gotten a transit service from in front of an 18th century cemetery, which was fun. It was also a car, because microtransit, this is definitely one of the dumber microtransits in the New York area. So then I got to Merritt 7 Station, and let's start exploring the Danbury Branch. I'm sure nothing will go wrong. Oh, well, hello there. Welcome to Merritt 7 Station. I'm in the footbridge now because it's warm. So a couple things. First off, the microtransit, which is leaving right now. That's the car. That's fine. It was just a car, but it's fine. The station is really nice. There's this footbridge up to that office park, because despite being called Merritt 7 for the Merritt Parkway and Highway 7, it's not a parking ride. It's meant to serve this office park, which makes it all the more mind-boggling that when this stage was rebuilt, they had to add this faux bridge in. This footbridge was not built until 2024. Now, you may notice that is not the Metro North font. It's the CT rail font. That's because all the rebuilt stations are getting CT rail signage, CT rail fonts, all that jazz. Although it is a Metro North ticket machine. Now, this, you may know, the next train is at 12:27. Yeah, the Danbury Branch hit the tree. Yeah, I don't know how my luck was that bad, but they're bustituting the line. For the morning, I called Metro North, and a super nice lady said that probably the afternoon trains would be trains, and if they are not trains, then I will when I get back to South Norwalk, I guess I'll just leave. Yeah. Anyway, cool. Let's buy our ticket, because we do still need a ticket to ride a Metro North the bus. Fun fact, this will be my first time ever riding one. I've never ridden a Metro North the bus before, so you'll experience it with me. Alright, I'll see you again getting on the bus to Cannondale. Alright, the bus is here. It's 15 minutes late, but I think it's barely enough for me to maybe just make it to Cannondale and continue. Thank you. Alright, there's the CT transit bus. This is Cannondale Station. Okay, really super fast. So this, why I came here, it's an 1890 station building. Is it open? Probably not, but we can check. Oh, it is open. Okay, wow, it is open. This is real. Oh, whoa, they're like device chargers. Wow, that's cool. Station hours 5:30 to 11. The responsible gambling tips. So yeah, guys, if you open a casino at Cannondale Station, do it responsibly. There's like a second area, which I think is also open. This looks like the old freight door. Active railroad, no trespassing. No, that's serious. This is the platform. It's very bare bones. Just a high level, but no ticket machine, no shelter, no sign, nothing. There's a nice village here, though. The Cannondale Station is gonna get a 5 out of 10. The station itself gets a 3, but the station building boosts that to a 5. All right, now we have to run, and I mean run to Wilton. Also, I didn't rate Merritt 7, so if I didn't already add that in, Merritt 7 an 8 out of 10. I originally gave Merritt 7 a 7 out of 10. I don't think that's completely fair, because Merritt 7 is a very, very good station. The only major problem with it is just that the Danbury Branch is not frequent enough to make it useful to actually commute to that office park, and partially for that reason, Norwalk Transit District, Norwalk Wheels, runs quite a few commuter shuttle buses from Norwalk, from other places in Norwalk, to that office park and to other places. So yeah, that was that, and then I ran down to Wilton, and I got in the Norwalk Wheels 4 bus, which does go all the way into Norwalk, which is where it's going, but I had a ton of time, so I instead got off at a stop called I Park, for a parking garage of yet another like office park type thing. It is near-ish to Merritt 7. I killed some time in a cafe there, and then I got another micro transit trip in. I took it from essentially one end of the zone to the other, and effectively I used it as an express local bus. I did this mostly just for the novelty of doing that, and also because like it saved me time. But I do feel like that's a use case for microtransit that's pretty stupid. Anyway, it took me down to South Norwalk Station. I got there just in time for the 12:17 train to Danbury, and you're not gonna believe this, guys, but the 12:17 train was actually a train. I know, truly shocking. So yeah, I'll see you at South Norwalk Station. A train in Connecticut with the CDOT owned logo. It is 3 blue stripe Metro North owned cars. So that's fun. I guess I'll board it in the rear car and see if the foamer window's open. And it's not open. Okay, delightful. Damn bear. This side is bad, different views. Actually, I think this side is. I don't remember. I will switch sides if need be. I love the like strong New York accent. All right, let's head to the Danbury. They're gonna probably check but I'm going to do a time lapse from here to Merritt 7 because we go like through Norwalk and in and out of tunnels, and it's very cool. And yeah. Alright, time lapse from here to Merritt 7. I'll see you at Merritt 7. So, the Danbury Branch was a lot more scenic than I remembered. I don't know if that's just because it was winter or if it's just because it was more scenic than I remembered from my previous trip on it. But because of that, in addition to this time lapse, which is playing now, enjoy a collection of other scenery shots up to Danbury, and I'll see you in Danbury. Right, so the Danbury Railway Museum is very cool, and it's right at the station, so I would have time to film it, right? Except no, we were super late into Danbury, so I ran around trying to film everything I could, and the clips were like complete wind noise. So as you see these clips pass by, they've got a very cool historic railroad collection. I think in the summer they have some like train rides through their yard. This is a very cool place in Danbury that I highly recommend going to. But we will be coming back to Danbury to see other non-transit related things. But first, let's head one stop down the line to Bethel and go explore that town. So, yeah, Danbury Railway Museum was very cool. Sadly, because the train was late, I couldn't poke around it. Also, the museum was closed the day I came. But it is definitely worth the visit. If you don't want to deal with the infrequentness of the Danbury Branch, you can also take the Hardin Line to Brewster and then the Hart Transit 3 bus, although that is weekdays only. So, yeah, I'll see you down in Bethel. Alright, welcome to Bethel Station. So we came here for a very specific reason that isn't actually at the station itself. But let's phone the train leaving first. Alright, folks, we have made it to Bethel. So, why did they come here? Oh, right. God, I forgot to give Danbury a rating. Okay, Danbury Station is going to get a 4 out of 10. The Railway Museum is cool, but it's really not good enough for how big of a place it serves. Now, Bethel. First off, it instantly gets lower points because it does not have a ticket machine. And I don't think the station building is open. No. So, okay, so the station building is open, but only because it's a cafe, which is nice to have. So Bethel Station is open because it's a cafe. There's a massive parking lot. The Hart Transit 5 deviates to serve here. There are the QR code timetables. There is the Tides 6 notice, and there are parking machines, but not ticket machines. Well, 777. I wonder how much, no, it's not free. It costs this much to park at Bethel. So, why did I come here? I'll tell you that in just a sec, but first off, rating for Bethel, it's just a normal station. Like, the only big downside is that there's no ticket machine. Big upside, though, is that there is that cafe in the station. So, I think Bethel gets just an average 5 out of 10. Now, with that, let's head to downtown Bethel, or like the center of the town of Bethel, to show you something really cool. So the really cool thing I came to see in Bethel was the old 1899 era station building. There's one built in 1852, and then in 1899 this one was built. Frankly, I think it's cool, and I think this is a better stopping location than the current Bethel station, which is just a bit north of town. But it's cool. It is similar to the one at Cannondale, but I mean, this one obviously isn't served by trains anymore. So yeah, with that, I had lunch in Bethel, and then I got the Hart Transit 5 to the Danbury Pulse Point, which is this like pulse. It's what its name suggests. It's the center terminal for the Hart Transit bus system and buses pulse. Hart Transit is a surprisingly good system. But then I got the 2 to a random stop on Newtown Road, just to the east of Danbury. And what could possibly be at a random stop just to the east of Danbury on Newtown Road? So, folks, I got off the number 2 bus. Why am I in a snowy patch of field with a lot of snow in my shoes in the middle of the suburbs? Well, because we're here. Welcome to the John Oliver Memorial Sewer Plant in the glorious city of Danbury, Connecticut. For context, on John Oliver's show in like 2020, he mocked Danbury, put the link. And then in response, the mayor said that they would rename the sewer plant after him because, and there's a direct quote, "It's full of shit, just like you, John." So yeah, that's great, and it's hilarious. So yeah, and it's a transit accessible meme. Wow! Meme check. For some reason, this clip was the only one that I filmed on the bus back to the Pulse Point, but I'll see you there on my way to Ridgefield. All right, we're in Danbury at the pulse point. I have a transfer, and the bus that is taking us on the 7 link down to Ridgefield is that minibus right there, which will be very fun. But I'm also curious how that works with the transfer. I think that is the bus. Let me see. I wonder if there's a sign. It says Danbury Norwalk link. This looks like it. But there's no driver, so I can't board yet. Delightful. But yeah, minibus to Ridgefield. All right, we made it to the old Ridgefield train station. So there's this little historical sign. So in 1870, the Branchline was built, and it was for rich New Yorkers to spend their summer here. So yeah, if you want to pause and read more, you can. As for the station itself, as you can tell, it has been pretty extensively restored. This track they probably added. It's also since I moved. It was first there. Now it's here. It's owned by this. They're like a housing. They sell like paints and other things for how it is. It's called the Ridgefield Supply Company. And if you look inside, the interior is just an extension of their sales room. I did look and see if I could go inside, but sadly I'm here just after they close, which is a shame. But it does look like you can go inside, and it's just like stuff to put in your kitchen, I guess, or other parts of your house. The tracks, they're extremely rusty, but this appears to be an actual like real grade crossing thing, and those look like real spikes. So they just seem to be icy tracks too. They seem to be like real tracks sourced from some old rail line, not just rails that were from somewhere else. But yeah, very cool. Although that's jointed rail, so not new tracks, although real tracks. Still cool that the station is still here. And yeah, now I have about 70 minutes in this town, so let's go explore it. So, my explorations of Ridgefield were slightly hindered because it was President's Day when I filmed this, and it was late when I filmed this, somewhat late in the day, so there wasn't much open. I got pizza. I did film a bit around the town, which this is, I think, just far enough from New York to like start having some New England vibes, but it was still a lot less New Englandy than anything in Eastern Connecticut, and most certainly anything in Massachusetts. But how on earth would I get back? Well, there's a very interesting commuter shuttle minibus that runs from here to Ridgefield to the Katona Metro North Station, and of course I'm gonna take that. That, folks, looks like our bus. It's a little minibus. I just called Hart, and they said to flag him down. He's going into there. Yeah, okay. So for future reference, since there's no bus stop sign, the Ridgefield Katona shuttle picks up at the like little side lot off of the main road here. And here's our little minibus. I'm very curious how this will be. Alright, we're off with a ride of just me. It's me and empty vehicle. Just love that. So yeah, I'll see you if we make I'll see you as we leave in that right, folks. I think we are about to enter New York. Yes, we are. There's the sign. So I think this is the first time in a video where I have exited Nedland. So I'll have to do a whole like animation now of Kath at the Hogel's face. Yeah. This is fun. No other ride or so far, but we do serve one more park and ride. All right, I'll see you at Katona Station. Thanks so much. Thank you. Alrighty, and with that, we have made it to Katona. That's the Hart Transit bus. So yeah, I can really see the appeal of doing that and having free parking at the Ridgefield Jesse Lee Church, and then just ending up here at Cannondale Station. So I'm gonna hop up and over onto the platform, and I guess we'll do a little debrief of the Danbury Branch and an outro there. But yeah, I can clearly see why people use this. It's probably much nicer, and it's not a long ride at all. So yeah, let's hop on board the train, or get on the platform, and then do debrief. Okay, so I was yapping a ton in this outro and debrief, and the video is already over 25 minutes long, so I'm going to voice it over. Basically, the Danbury Branch is really interesting, really cool, and really scenic. You've got the charming towns Bethel and Ridgefield. You've got the Danbury Railway Museum. You've got the really cool scenery. It's really a very interesting branch line that offers a lot. So I would recommend coming up here to explore it. You could do my exact insane route, or you could just go spend a day in Danbury, or you could bounce up and down the line. It's very much a line that you could go and spend a day exploring, even if you aren't as much of a transcendent as me, or if you are. So yeah, Danbury Branch, very, very cool. I think the main thing that they need to do is just add more service. Electrification would be nice. An extension to New Milford would be nice. But the main thing they need to do is just add more service. So with that, thank you so much for watching this video on the Danbury Branch. You should go explore it. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.